Tonight in My Heart. That's the new song. Then There Were Sparks by the musical duo A Great Big World, Chad King and Ian Axel. Listen to this. They've been performing for nearly 20 years since meeting in college in 2005, and they're still friends. They skyrocketed to fame in 2014 with their smash hit you just heard, Ian, Say Something, featuring Christina Aguilera. That song won them a Grammy and then went 6 times platinum. Thank you very much. Drop the microphone. Their new EP, we're happy to say, Then There Were Sparks, is out today. As soon as this interview's over, you need to get it. Ian will be performing shows in several cities in the coming weeks. Chad has announced that he will be taking a step back from performing due to the physical effects of multiple sclerosis, which he was diagnosed with back in 2007. We are very happy to say that Chad and Ian are with us in the studio. It's so good to see you two again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for your success because you all have been through a lot together. You've had to have very hard conversations with each other. You have to make some big decisions about how the group is going to perform. But you say this, Ian and Chad, is a new chapter in your lives, musically and professionally and personally. Ian, start us off.
Absolutely. I mean, our relationship, we're redefining our relationship. We've known each other for almost 20 years. We're like brothers, best friends, creative partners, business partners. So dreams change, you know, and we want to support each other. And this feels brand new. This feels like it felt when we met back in college a while back.
Was it a tough decision, Chad, for you to make the decision that you're going to step back, and a tough decision for you, Ian, to hear it?
It was one of the hardest decisions. It's a...
Because you didn't want to step back.
Yeah, I've been singing and performing since I was like 7, so the idea that I wouldn't be able to do that didn't make sense to me. So, yeah, I mean, I would say the last few years, he's been trying to say, Chad, there are things going on with your body that you should be aware of, and I wouldn't admit to it. I was telling him everything's fine, and then it got to a point where I couldn't not admit to it. It was like physically, I just couldn't walk. I couldn't sing the same. Yeah.
And Chad, you didn't want to hurt his dream too.
Yeah.
It was hard for you. I mean, Ian, you didn't want to upset his dream too.
Yeah, well, I made this decision, 1, because physically I just couldn't do the same thing. And then 2 was, I didn't want my inability to tour or perform to affect Ian's dreams. And so
I wanted to support you and how do I support you? How do I talk to you about these things without feeling like I'm telling you what you can or cannot do? And so how do we support each other in this? And it's hard, and we're still figuring it out. We're in couples therapy, even though
Couples therapy?
we're
Not a couple, but you
Yeah.
are. But it's so interesting to hear you in the way that you're interacting now, talking about supporting each other and hearing each other. Talk to us about what couples therapy has meant for your relationship.
It allows us to talk to each other and listen to each other with someone there who's witnessing, and that allows each other not to get defensive and to really speak from our hearts and listen from our hearts and not fall into the same patterns.
I can't help but, you know, when I think of that song and the lyrics, Say Something, you know, and this is exactly what you're talking about. You had to speak up, acknowledge that you weren't in the position that you were used to being in terms of movement and just being able to perform in the same way. I'm curious about where you are with your MS journey and how you've been able to sort of help other people by being so open and honest about your struggle.
where I am currently,
Yeah.
I feel like my spirits are as good as they ever been.
Yeah.
Physically, it's questionable. So physically, my whole left side goes weak by noon. And so there's that piece, and that includes my vocal cords, and that's what makes this really hard. But I love the idea of being able to talk about this openly, and there are so many people going through something, and to be able to connect and make them feel less alone, that warms my heart.
Yeah,
and
me
it's so
too. I really admire that you came and you're speaking, and I also am very happy that you still have the music, Ian.
Yes.
You still have the music, and when Sparks came, the first time I heard it, number one, I love your voice, I love your lyrics, and it came out just at the time of the wildfires. Yeah. That must have given you some pause, just the word Sparks during that time, but you decided, yes, we're still going to release it. It's a beautiful song.
Thanks. I mean, we make music first to heal ourselves, but then to help others and just put an injection of love out into the world, and we felt like it was important to still release it. And you know, that song is important for us. One of the lyrics is right where the end meets the start, and
Yes.
it does feel like that for Chad and I right now.
One of the lyrics, too, is it's hard to be a human.
Yes.
I think a lot of people feel that. But in addition to the new music, in addition to your medical journey, you're now working on a Broadway play. I'm very excited about that. And it's called
Wonder.
Wonder, yeah.
Wonder.
When we met, we wanted to write a musical. I wasn't even singing. And
I love the ambition.
He was working at the Apple Store.
I know. I know that in your
Yeah.
bio. Like, but I just love the ambition. You're not even doing music yet. Hey, let's write a musical.
But everything starts with that. You have to have that ambition.
But
and that
tell us
idea.
about Wonder, why this matters to you and what you're looking for.
So Wonder is a show about a boy named Augie who was born with a facial difference. And it's about him navigating his first year in middle school. But really it's a show about kindness and empathy and courage, which is so important for the world always and especially right now. And we are looking for an Augie with a craniofacial difference from anywhere.
For the our main character.
Yep.
Yeah.
Age range?
9 to 16,
Yeah.
I think we're open to.
16.
But you might know the book by R.J. Palacio or the Lionsgate film. Julia Roberts, Owen Wilson were in the film.
I do know that.
So, and now we're adapting it to the
Broadway.
stage.
Nice. We look forward to it.
Yes, that's so amazing.
We are cheering you on. Thank you so much for coming, and keep the music coming. Keep the music coming.
Thanks so
We
much.
needed it
Thanks
this
for
time.
having us.
Chad King and Ian Axel, A Great Big World's EP. Where does Great Big World come from? I'm going, I know.
It came from a lyric of one of our early songs, but we wanted a name that felt big.
Big and hopeful, and there was
Yeah.
a big
Big and
umbrella.
hopeful.
Yeah.
That's what
all
you do
about.
for us. Then There Were Sparks that you're hearing now is out now.